Hello and welcome to this very exciting full body at home or at the gym TRX strap workout. As y'all can see, I am in the luxury of my own home, and so I have my TRX set up on my door. And of course, if y'all know what the TRX strap is, it's basically like a suspension training system. Y'all can probably find other brands out there, but I have a TRX at home that I've been using for forever now, since my beginning of my personal training career. This video is supposed to be an educational one. Again, if y'all have done TRX workouts before, this might be a repetitive one. This video is targeted for my friends of all levels. Of course, if you are advanced or intermediate as well and already know most of these exercises, feel free to join in and work out and follow along with me. But I also want to make this video as comprehensive as I possibly can, so that my friends who have never even tried the TRX or have always been intimidated to try the TRX strap, and whether y'all are at the gym or at home and have been wondering how to use this video is for you. So without further ado, we're gonna get right into the workout, starting with a warm-up. Yes, of course you can do any kind of warm-up that you wish, and you can feel free to fast forward if you don't want to do this portion, but my workouts always involve a mobility component. So we're gonna start with the mobility warm-up. So because this is full body, we're gonna start with our upper body and work our way down, same like the workout, but we're gonna go ahead and start here. We're gonna go ahead and hold on to the straps here. And I should mention there are different levels that you can bring the straps in. And to use the strap, I should probably go over this first. To use the strap, we're gonna go ahead and tilt this bottom little anchor stop looking thing, and we're gonna at the same time pull this one up if you want to make it shorter, and while keeping that anchor thing down, we're gonna also pull it away from the anchor point, and that's gonna make it longer. So again, shorten the strap and make it longer. All right, so with that being in mind, and if you have an older suspension training system like myself, my line is a diagonal line. This signifies the middle point. And if y'all have the newer ones, they'll be in lines. So with the lines, you can also adjust in the middle portion or the longer portion or the shortest portion. But for the sake of this warm, we're gonna lengthen it or shorten it, wherever your length is, into the middle portion. So making sure that it's along that diagonal line or in the center of the straps of the lines. All right, so from here, we're gonna go ahead and hold on to the rubberized handle here. This is called the foot cradles or the straps. This is the handlebars, all right? So we're gonna go ahead and lean forward like we will do in the RDL position. We're gonna lean back your hips, at the same time lean your arms forward and come into a hinge position here. Again, relaxing the head and the neck here at the bottom position. And at the top, we're gonna hold on to the straps the whole time. Squeeze your core in, squeeze your glutes. Exhale at the top. Inhale to lean forward, lengthen the spine here, and then exhaling to lean back up. And again, I should also mention, if you wanna make it anything challenging, more hard or challenging, you step yourself in. So you're using more of your body weight as you go towards anchor point. And then the more you step away from the anchor point, the less you're gonna use your own body. You're gonna have more resistance and strap to work with, and it's gonna help you here. All right, let's go ahead and do a few more reps here. Again, every single rep, really focusing on lengthening through the back, lengthening through the hamstrings, the glute complex, all that good stuff. Awesome work here. We're gonna do last 2 reps. Lean nice and forward with the arms, and really relaxing the shoulders here. Do not arch the back or bring your shoulders so high up where you don't feel your back or your hamstrings engage and lengthening here. Nice, and let's go ahead and slowly recover. The next one, we're gonna go ahead and do an open arm. So we're gonna go ahead and keep your feet, toes and feet, heels on the floor planted. Open the straps to the side and then bring it to the center. Flip the palms downwards and then lift your arms up. So again, this is a preview to what we're about to do in the actual workout, but again, do not lean excessively back, right? You wanna make sure it's still nice and activated, but we're not challenging ourselves to a point where we're not doing the actual warm-up or actual exercise yet. So you wanna make sure we're still engaging through the shoulders, the arms, the core, and the back, but we're not leaning back yet, so we're not doing the actual intense warm-up, right? Or intense workout. I keep saying warm-up. We are in the warm-up. Nice work, y'all. Open to the side and flip the palm down. Open towards the door or the wall, wherever you are. Nice. Looking good. Let's do last 2 reps right here. Open close, breathing through, you got it, nice. Last one here in each position, looking good. Nice, and let's go ahead and slowly recover. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit more of a hip opening and hip warm up here. So we're gonna go ahead and still keep the arms and the hands on the handlebars, and we're gonna lean forward. Again, if you do not wanna lift the legs up today, you don't have to. All you have to do is just lean forward a little bit. Feel a nice hip hinge from the waist and the glutes. Activation, hamstrings. Hold here and then come up. For my friends who want to come into the deepest form, lifting your leg up, doesn't matter which one, we're going to do both sides anyways, at the top. And if you want to make it more challenging, you can do an opener for airplane. So keep your hips nice and open, bring your legs to the side here. Make sure you're balancing, right? And coming back into the neutral and then reset. All right, so whichever variation you are, either coming into the RDL hip opener or just simply a B stance RDL situation. Nice, looking good, y'all. Breathing through it here. And we're gonna do 8 to 10 really good quality repetitions on each side. And for my friends who are new to my channel, make sure to check out the description down below also for the recommended repetition ranges. I recommend based on your goals. So because everyone has different goals, right, who is watching, I wanna make sure I cover all goals, but because I can't cover every single person and every single individual in this video, I have always let you know what I recommend for repetition ranges based on your goal in the description down below. So make sure to check it out as well if you are new here. Nice, let's go last one on this side. Beautiful, and let's go ahead and simply switch the other leg. And breath work stays relatively the same. Exhaling to open, inhale to reset. Nice, and really keeping in mind, again, although we are heavily working into the hips, the legs, the glutes, you also wanna make sure your upper body is nice and engaged. Squeeze that upper back, the shoulder blades together, making sure shoulders are not coming up toward your ears, where we're not doing this number, or making sure ears are away and elongation for the arms as we lift the leg up or keeping in that B stance position. Nice. Awesome work, y'all. Let's go last 2 reps and then we'll start into our workout, our no repeat full body. And let's go ahead and slowly recover. All right, we're gonna come into some of the OG classics for the first exercise. So one of my first favorite exercises I've ever done in the TRX ever, which maybe some of y'all have already done so in the past as well. We're gonna come into our row. So with TRX row, you wanna keep your elbows nice and close to your midline. Do not go past neutral. This is a mistake I see all the time. This is not what we wanna do, right? We're not doing a spine workout. We're doing a back, shoulders, arms workout. So keeping everything nice and neutral for the hips and the back and the pelvis. Bring yourself nice deep inhale down, keeping your shoulders away from the ears, keeping your elbows slightly bent at the bottom. I don't want to see this, right? Do not hyperextend those elbows. Keep a slight bend, even at the bottom position. Hold for a second, and then row up, keeping the elbows nice and close to you. Hold on to your imaginary $1 million bills in between your your armpits. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. All right, and row. And for the feet, you can see that my toes are lifted here. But if you do want some more stability and you're doing this for the first time, you're like, whoa, this is a little too much, bring your toes down and coming into our rows this way. You can, again, step yourself a little bit more out, not too far out so you can't row, but just enough so that it's not too intense. For my friends who do want to make it more challenging, you step yourself in towards anchor point and coming into a little bit more of a reclined position past 45, but I'm going to stay here with 45. And again, you can keep your toes lifted to make it more challenging. But wherever you are, we're already right here. Based on your goals, we are repping it out right here. 8 to 10 for strength, 6 for power, forgot 6, and 12 for hypertrophy, and 15 plus repetitions for endurance. Nice work, y'all. Keep it breathing. Again, prioritizing form over any kind of anything, basically. As a mobility and functional coach, you want to make sure you're keeping everything engaged and active at the same time, but we're also getting a nice workout in. It's still very intense. If you're actively engaging all the muscle groups here, it should be really intense. Nice work, y'all. Let's go a couple more repetitions right here. How much can you get in? Nice. Right here. Last one. Right here. Boom. And let's go ahead and recover. Great work. All right, so my friends who are right here, we're gonna keep it in the middle strap length, and we're gonna go ahead and come into the same exact position. Now we're gonna be focusing more on the shoulder complex, a little bit more deeper into the lat complex, all that good stuff, and just everything for the upper body, okay? So we're gonna go ahead, again, feet positioning stays the same, either toes lifted, toes down, or stepping in a little bit further towards the anchor point or away from the anchor point to lessen the intensity. All right, from here, we're gonna go ahead and come into our rotation. So we're bringing your palms facing towards the floor. From here, we're gonna go ahead and inhale, open your straps up like we did in the warm-up, and hold for a second, and then leaning forward actively at the same time as you bring your hips and your body forward. And at the exhalation, we're gonna open to the side, so create a nice, beautiful circle here. So now my palms are facing towards each other as we come in. Now your arms and your elbows and your forearms, basically, is in a supine position, right? So we're in that underhand grip. Beautiful. From here, we're gonna go ahead and do a bicep curl here. So exhaling to bring your elbows into a close. Open, again, do not hyperextend those elbows. Do not swing yourself back. Keep it nice and neutral. It's like a plank, active plank. Hold yourself for a second. Flip your palms back to the starting point. Keep your elbows nice and bent here. And then open back to a nice Y. I like to say it's like we're doing a YMCA situation, right? So we're opening to the Y. Coming into the side. Bring your elbows and your palms towards each other. And then flip it over for bicep curl. Again, if you want to make it challenging, take those toes lifted off. Nice. Looking good, y'all. Keep going wherever you are. You don't want to stop, right? You can always adjust your adjustments for the legs or the positioning for, you want to make it harder or easier, but the goal is to not stop, right? The goal is to keep going. We're only here for a couple moments together, so I want you to pull through, right? No pun intended. Nice, looking good. We have a few more reps left here, so if you can get a few more repetitions in. Nice, looking good, y'all. And again, take these nice, slow and effective. My goal and priority here is for you to learn how to use these straps effectively to the best of these straps can offer you. Let's do last one. Nice repetition right here. Boom. And let's go ahead and slowly recover. Great work, everyone. So now we're gonna go ahead and transition onto our chest. So we wanna go ahead and bring the straps into a nice lengthened position. So a little bit longer than what we were just doing for the middle portion. So some people like to say, kind of going back to the lengthening. So some people also like to teach where the longest length can be in the middle of your shin, right? You can use that, but for my sake, because I'm not in a commercial gym, it doesn't necessarily work like that for me. I have to do it a little bit shorter than my shin level, but anyways, we're gonna be threading ourselves right in between here. From here, making sure that the straps, right, when you look at the straps or when you feel the straps, they don't bend in certain ways, right? We wanna make sure it's nice and straight so that when we come into our chest press, it's nice and stabilized for us. So there's a different few variations. Some people like to teach this, but I'm gonna go ahead and review this positioning. But again, now your toes are on the floor, your heels are lifted. From here, we're gonna go ahead and hold on to the handlebars, keeping your elbows into a nice wide stance, keeping your feet hip distance apart. Inhaling on the way to the bottom. Again, you don't wanna break past neutral. We don't wanna do this, right? Notice how you're engaging not so much of your chest, you're doing more of a spinal workout, right? You wanna make sure we're in that nice deep position until you feel your muscles engaged. Do not break past that. And then exhaling to press open. So essentially it's like a elevated push-up, if you will, but it is called the TRX chest press. But we're inhaling on the way to the bottom, exhaling to press up. Again, you can make this harder by putting your feet a little bit closer to the anchor point, so you're a little bit lower to the ground. Notice I'm almost like gonna touch my face to the floor. Just kidding. But we're also adjusting at the top, if you wanna make it easier, a little bit higher up, away from the floor. So still pressing, chest pressing, but it's like almost like you're doing like one of those incline presses at the gym, you know the machine? Nice. All right, wherever we are already right here. And if you do find yourself a little bit hesitant without that support on the arm, some people get a little bit of a, you know, some redness here like I do right here. Some people like to do the opposite way where they feel a little bit more secure. I personally do not like this way, but you can do this one as well. So this positioning for the hand, overhand, and bringing the straps behind you, or my preferred method is out and away, my elbows, but underneath the straps. So either way is valid, just depends what y'all like to do for the positioning. All right, wherever we are, keep breathing through it. Nice deep inhale to hover, hold for a second, and then push away. Really bringing attention into your palms, so really firmly pressing your palms into the handle straps or the rubberized handles, and really breathing through it here. Nice, looking good, y'all. We have last 2 reps. Keep going. I know it is challenging, but this is where the beauty happens. Nice. And let's go ahead and slowly recover. Now, keeping the same length of the straps, we want to make sure, again, reset. If the straps did move a little bit, we're going to go ahead and hold on to the handlebars again. For the toes, heels lifted, keeping your elbows close and hugged to you to the midline. We don't want to press with open elbows. We want to make sure everything is nice and close. So inhaling to bend through the elbows, leaning forward at the same time, holding your core and spine, navel in towards your spine, and then exhaling to press away. This is our tricep extension. So inhale all the way to the bottom, exhaling to press. This is the standing version right here. Again, you can adjust a little bit easier, a little bit away from the anchor point or more towards anchor point. It's gonna get nice and deep and challenging. For my friends who do not want to do this in a standing position, come onto your knees, tall kneeling. We can go ahead and come into either your toes hooked and leaning forward, bending into the elbows, pressing away. And at the top, do not hyperextend those elbows, right? Keep a soft bend at the top. Or if you'd like to take this up a notch and come into tall kneeling, keep your heels and feet, lower half of the legs off the floor. Adjust your knees down and press. Tricep, inhale down, exhale, press. All right, wherever we are, we're already starting right here. Keep breathing through it right here. And if you're doing this correctly, you should really start to feel the triceps engaged right here. And the core and the lats and the triceps should be on fire by now. Nice, looking good, y'all. Breathing through it. Again, if your hips do start to shift forward or back, just reset your spine, right? We want to make sure we do this nice and correctly. Ideally, we don't want to be moving the hips or the pelvis forward or back past neutral. We want to keep it in a nice straight line like we do a core plank, right? It's like same idea here. We're just in an inverted, elevated position. Nice, looking good, y'all. Let's do last 2. And relax your head and the neck. Do not pull on your neck right here. Nice. And let's go ahead and slowly recover. Great work. If you were on the floor, let's go ahead and stand up for just a second, and we're gonna come back and reverse back into our longer position. If you haven't already extended your straps all the way, make sure they're nice and lengthened, or again, going back to that shin level. Now we're gonna go ahead and come into one of my favorite leg and glute exercises ever. And we're gonna go ahead making sure the straps are nice and extended. And we're gonna go ahead and now imagine this strap is one big strap. And we're gonna go ahead and bring your toes in both foot straps, all right? So if you do kind of have a tendency to wobble or feel like you need a little bit more stability, find a wall space or even like a bench or chair, wherever you are, wherever sofa, if you're at home or at the gym, doesn't matter. Find yourself a nice stable surface, thread your toes into the straps, right? Find your balance here. If you do have a hard time finding your balance, just holding on to an object or again, that wall. From here, you wanna make sure you find a good space between the anchor point and away from the anchor point, because if you're too close to the anchor point, you're gonna find that it's very, very hard to keep the strap lifted off the floor. And if you're too far, you're gonna start to notice you can't bend that back knee as much, and it's not gonna be a glute exercise. You're gonna feel it more in the front of the hips, which we don't wanna feel that today. You can also find this if you wanna start in the bottom position, if you wanna just stay in a bent knee position on the floor and find a nice comfortable stance so you can just stand up. You can also find it this way. But either way, we're gonna bend that back knee and then bring it down, and then we're gonna lift that leg up to the top. So you wanna make sure we're leaning back in a back lunge and then lifting up into an abdominal hold. Now, if you feel like your balance is not here today and you don't wanna add the abdominal hold, no worries. You can just come into a regular neutral position, reset, and then coming back into our low lunge, all right? So wherever we are, we're gonna stay on that one side. Keep breathing through it. Nice deep inhale down, hold, and exhaling to lift. And for my friends who wanna target a little bit more of your glutes versus your quads, we're still gonna do both here, but if you wanna target a little bit more, I want you to lean your torso a little bit more forward in a nice 45-degree angle versus an upright, right? Upright, you're gonna feel more of your quads, which is great for my friends who wanna feel more of your quads, but for my friends who wanna feel more of your glute, specifically your medial glutes here, you wanna make sure you're leaning your torso forward in a 45-degree angle. So that way, when you lean forward, you're emphasizing more of your glute complex to work, especially the standing glute should be on fire by now, in addition to that hinge, right? We're still doing that hinge motion here for split squats. Nice. Looking good, y'all. Let's do last one collectively here. And let's go ahead and slowly now switch to the other side by just holding onto the straps fluidly. Ideally, like the Instagram models, I don't know. And we're gonna go ahead and switch now to the other side again. If you wanna reset and come with the knees all the way down to the floor and make sure you're nice and grounded here and set up this way. This is a totally valid way to set up, which I like to always bring up, especially for my new clients. All right, so let's go ahead and come back to the other side. And notice one side can be different than the other. You might find that one side is a little bit more wobbly than the other. It's probably because I'm a little bit off center. I wanted to stay in this position because my legs are gonna get cut off in the camera, but whatever. It doesn't matter anymore. You already know what my feet looks like. They're flat on the floor. Nice. Looking good, y'all. And this exercise specifically is an exercise I like to basically advance my clients. And for you as well, if you do this once and you're already used to it, you can always grab some dumbbells. I love that. Or a kettlebell to hold so you can increase the intensity. All right, there's always ways to make this exercise harder. Trust me. Ways to level up. For the sake of this video, it's only body weight, but for my friends who want to take it up a notch, grab the dumbbells, grab the kettlebell. You got it. Nice. Looking good, y'all. Keep breathing through it. Awesome. And the whole time, if you do find yourself, your knees go past your toes, reset yourself, hop a little bit more forward or back, reset your stance, and making sure that knee doesn't come excessively forward. You can come a little bit towards the toes, but you don't want to be excessively over where you break past neutral and your hip flexors are gonna really feel it. All right, you wanna make sure it's nice and neutral. Pelvis is nice and parallel and forward. Nice, looking good. Let's shoot for one more really good quality rep right here. Boom, and let's go ahead and slowly recover. Great work. All right, now, I know it's been a lot. We're gonna go ahead and shorten the straps to the middle length. We're gonna do one more leg and calf combo, and we're gonna go ahead and come down onto the floor. But we're gonna go ahead and start with your feet in hip distance. Again, finding a good medium stance or harder or less hard stance based on the positioning between you and the anchor point. From here, one thing I wanted to mention, if you do have a band, a booty band, and you wanna take this up a notch, grab a booty band, strap it on your above your knees. But for the sake of this video, body weight, we're gonna come back and relax your shoulders here. I see way too much of this when we do squats. So we want to relax the shoulders down and coming into a nice squat. So bringing your hips in hip distance, your feet in hip distance, hold for a second at the bottom position, and then lifting up into our neutral stance. Again, do not hyperextend through the pelvis. Neutral, core, and glutes are engaged here. Hold at the bottom for a second in that nice deep squat, and then exhaling to lift up. Again, this is such a good squat exercise to do, especially if y'all wanna develop into a single leg squat. For my friends who are already advanced and think this is way too easy, right? Still challenging, right? But for my friends who wanna take this up a notch, you can go ahead and do a calf combo. So calf raise here at the bottom, bring the calves or heels down, and then lift back up. So here, bottom, lift the calves, down, and lift all the way up. Now for my friends who want to take it more advanced, more hard, keep the heels lifted the whole time. Down into squat, up for calf engagement. Nice, looking good. Wherever your level is, we're here. Keep breathing through it. Nice, looking good, y'all. And of course, you want to make it more challenging or more fun, you can also do a jump squat. Nice. But for the sake of this video, we're just keeping it plain and Jane OG. Nice. Let me know if y'all want me to bring more TRX videos, and we'll definitely do more advanced move, but more beginner friendly, right? Nice, let's do one more really good quality rep right here. Boom. And let's go ahead and slowly recover. All right, and again, if you want to take a water break, feel free to take it now, or we're gonna thread that one strap into the other, and we're gonna make it into a nice big strap right here. From here, we're gonna go ahead and hold both your hands in that big strap that we just created, both rubberized handles. We're gonna go ahead and step to the side. We're gonna lean to the side. We're gonna keep your straps in that chest level. Whether y'all are more in, you're still gonna keep it at chest level. We don't wanna bring it down here. It's not gonna do anything for you. Wanna make sure your core is engaged, your back and your chest. From here, we're consistently leaning to the side. It doesn't look like much, but we're actively pressing down to the side. From here, we're gonna exhaling to press, inhale back into neutral. This is a stability anti-rotation exercise. We wanna make sure we're minimizing this, right? We're not doing this. Keeping everything, your pelvis, everything neutral. Press and back. Nice. And again, if you need to adjust the straps, if leaning a little bit more too forward was a little too much, right? Come up a little bit. But of course, you wanna feel enough so you don't feel like you're not doing anything, right? You wanna feel that sideline activating, your obliques, all that good stuff, but also your center, your medial core line working. Nice. Again, we're actively pressing our body weight to the side while pressing forward. So two things happening, pulling to the side and pushing open in the middle. Nice. Looking good, y'all. Keep that press at chin / chest height. Do not go a little bit lower. Do not do this as well. Nice. Looking good. We have last one on this side, and then we'll switch. Boom, and let's go ahead and switch sides. I do apologize, I'm maybe facing away from y'all, but maybe y'all can see more of my back activation. More, you know. Anyways, we're coming into the other side. Let's go ahead and begin. Exhaling, press, inhale back. Awesome work, y'all. Again, making this your best exercise for the day. If you need to adjust yourself, feel free to adjust it now. But really finding and tuning into your body. You might find that one side might be weaker or stronger than the others. Then it's okay. I find that this side, particularly for me, is a little bit more challenging. But again, just finding the correct positioning for this side and breathing through it. Really feeling your back, your obliques, your chest line, all that good stuff, nice and supported here. Looking good, y'all. Let's shoot for last 3. Breathing here. Keep it at chest level for the straps. And making sure that the straps are also not at this position, right? You wanna make sure the straps are nice and tight the whole time. Awesome work, y'all. Almost fell right there. Nice. Last one. Boom. And let's go ahead and slowly recover. All right. We're coming into our final exercises of the day. We're gonna come back all the way to the floor. And we're gonna come into a few ways of getting into this. So keeping your straps at the longest level that we were just in. Do not adjust it unless you need to. Coming into our foot cradles now. So again, the longer cradles. And we're gonna go ahead and lean back facing the anchor point. And we're gonna go ahead and bring your toes into the straps. And again, the arches of the feet are against the rubberized handle here. Some people like to teach this as crisscross applesauce, or whatever you like to call them. But again, wherever gets you in the position of the high plank, that's all that matters. We're bringing our palms down onto Ideally a mat surface, or if you have a cushion surface like a rug at home, feel free to take it, or take, you know, that cushion for your arms, or even a pillow to have a nice support underneath your wrists and your palms. From here, we're gonna go ahead, and if this is your first time, it might feel intimidating, it might feel hard, so do not just get discouraged, right? There's a few different levels. We're coming into a basic high plank. Now, if bringing both of your knees and toes off the floor is a little bit challenging, I want you to find this in an elbow position, low plank. Elbow plank. So keeping your forearms here on the floor and then lifting even one side at a time. If you can't do the full plank, just bringing one leg up, bring it down, alternate, lift one leg up, bring it down, and kind of play around with that for a while, right? But for my friends who can come all the way into high plank, let's go ahead and hold the high plank for just a moment. We're gonna hold for a couple seconds here. Again, keeping your hips nice and neutral, keeping your eye gaze towards the floor, and making sure your fingertips are nice and away from each other. So creating a nice, beautiful webbing in between. So you're constantly pressing your palms down and rooting yourself down. Your knees and toes should be together here. We're gonna be here for a couple more moments. Last 5, breathing through. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. 2, 1, gently bring your knees down to the floor. And let's go ahead and slowly now take a nice stretch. Beautiful work, everyone. Let's go ahead and lean to one side. Exhaling to bend into that sideline stretch. Bring whichever hand, it doesn't matter. We're doing both sides anyways, leaning to the side. Getting that whole rotation, the spine twist, that extension, all the good stuff. And let's go ahead and switch sides. Leaning through the other side. Breathing through it here. It should feel so, so nice. Awesome. Breathing, tuning in to your natural cycles of breath. Awesome. And let's go ahead and slowly release. If you haven't already, take your feet out of the straps here. And we're gonna go ahead and face towards the anchor point, holding on to the handles here. We're gonna go ahead and lean forward. You can either keep your toes hooked here or keep your feet all the way planted to the floor. We're gonna go ahead and come into an elevated child's pose here. You can come a little bit more towards your hips, directly onto your heels, or if you want a little bit more of an elevation, getting a little bit more higher up towards your back muscles, feel free to lift your hips off and gently bring your chest down inch by inch, closer and closer to the floor, and really relaxing those arms in front of you. Really relaxing your head and neck here. Breathing through it here. Really feeling that whole spine, the back releasing here. It should feel so, so nice and nourishing. You can even gently shift side to side, feeling a little bit more of a stretch on the sidelines if you do tend to hold tension on the sides. And gently, gently rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae to gently lean out of it here. Beautiful work. And last but not least, coming into a nice standing work. Again, keeping your straps nice and lengthened. And we're gonna go ahead and lean away from the straps. So my hips, my chest is leaning away from the straps directly, and we're bringing the straps behind you actively to the other side. So you're gonna feel a nice frontal shoulder. We did a lot of upper body work today, so really feeling that whole arm and shoulder release with the chest. Beautiful work, and you can always make this a little bit more less intense, right, by bringing yourself a little bit more towards that same side, or again, if you want to make it more intense, lean away from the side. So we're getting that nice stretch, that side lateral and medial stretch at the same time. Nice. And let's go ahead and slowly switch to the other side. Hello. Nice. And for my friends who have done this for the first time, I'm so, so proud of y'all. I know the strap looks intimidating, but as y'all did it today, it's not as hard as y'all think, right? As long as you get how to use it, what exercises and what length you're supposed to use it at, it's all gravy. Nice. And last but not least, I like to always highlight how important it is to do wrist mobility and keeping your wrists healthy, especially when we do a lot of gripping exercise and work. So for this one, if you already know some of my exercise, you already know, but interlace your hands. You can bring your thumbs together and bring it forward and down. and really focus on strengthening through the thumb area and this whole grip area right here. We tend to have a lot of hold, a lot of tension in this area, so this is to combat that. And also doing the wave, right? If you feel a little bit more tension in towards the lower of the wrist, feel free to do the wave version. And then of course, my favorite is the lotus. So bringing your your pinky, I can't even talk, and bringing it down, palms away, and then palms together, and then keep it at that same direction. You can also switch it with the thumbs first and then down, so you can reverse the direction here between both of the lotus. You can also do a frontal forearm stretch, all that good stuff, or wrist rolls, whatever floats your boat. But that is it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this really exciting video. I have been meaning to make one of these TRX videos for such a long time. If y'all like these types of videos and exercise and routines, please let me know, because I have a lot more exercise that I would love to show y'all, but because of the sake of time, I kind of cut it short today. But I hope this was a good introductory video. And if you've never used the straps and used it for the first time today, so proud of y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one. Until then, eat healthy, move your body, get in a nice workout. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, y'all.